All right, guys. It is top of the hour right now, and I'm hoping I'm hoping all those with intent to join us has have done so by now. So let's start with some introduction. My name is Rod McCree, and I am the well. First of all, even before I introduce myself, I want to just say thank you for everyone for taking the time out of your day. I know that your days are packed with customers to take care of and deals to close. So I am genuinely grateful that you stepped away from all of that to join us for this presentation on Fanvil's smart uh, property management solution. Let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Rod McCree. I'm the Director of IP Communication at ABP. I'm excited to be joined by a great group of colleagues and partners. We have Tommy Lee, who's the Vice President of Fanvil North American Sales, on with us. We have Hector Zarita, who is Fanvil's sales engineer. Hector will also walk us through a live demo of the management platform. I believe we have Moichi. Not sure if Moichi Liu is on with us. I believe he may be. He's one of the channel managers at Fanvil. He's an excellent resource. If you have any questions or you need support, Moichi is an excellent resource for that. Jenny Ingo is she spearheads our marketing team. She's a person that put all of this together for us. And then we have Brandon Day, who is one of ABP's partner services managers for the West Coast. And so together we are here to give you a closer look at how the Fanvil solution can bring real value to your business. Let's look at the agenda. So this is what we'll be covering today. Give me a second. Yeah, so we're gonna start with a brief introduction to ABP and Fanvil. Then we're gonna move into a solution overview. We're gonna look at some of Fanvil's current product lineup. From there, we'll talk about some of the key pain points that the Fanvil solution addresses. We're going to look at some of the benefits, and we're going to look at benefits from both the partner perspective and from the end user perspective as well. And then we're going to look at some real world applications to kind of bring it all together. Again, as I mentioned earlier, Hector would give us a live demo of the FCMS platform, and if time allows, we're going to wrap things up with a Q&A session. Now, your mics are muted, but you can drop questions or comments into the chat box at any point. We do want this to feel interactive, so we please encourage you to participate. And then finally, at the end, if we have time, we're going to close things out with a raffle. We're going to raffle off an i60 i504 kit along with with an IP phone. I believe it's the V66 Pro. You do have to be or sit through the entire webinar. You have to be here at the end of the webinar in order to qualify for that raffle. But we're going to do that towards the end. So with that, let's go ahead and let's get started. So before we jump into the solution, let's first set the stage with a quick look at the people and the expertise that's driving it. And this hopefully will give you the context of why it matters and how it creates value for you. Let's start with ABP. Let's look at who we are and what we do and why partners trust us for innovative solutions and exceptional support. And then after that, I'll hand things over to Tommy, who would do a little bit deeper dive into Fanvil and a deeper dive in the innovation that they bring to these solutions. So since 2001, ABP has been helping partners by providing what I consider smart technology solutions. We're based in Dallas, but we do have a worldwide presence or a global presence. Our main focus is on things like voice over IP, video, security cameras, building access, network, smart devices, and we create and we support these solutions specifically to help businesses that manage technology for others. We have a pretty robust and always ready to help sales team, and we also have a support team that is always accessible to partners as well. And then the last thing is we've had over a decade of partnership with Fanvil. We really appreciate, we really value that relationship, and a large part of our success has been in aligning ourselves with Fanvil and their in their product offering. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Tommy to do a little bit deeper dive into Fanvil and also talk about some of the products and solutions that they offer. So with that, Tommy, give me a second. Let me see if I can. Let me hand it off to you. And all right, Tommy, you should have the links there. There you go.
Got it. I appreciate it. Well, thank you very much for the introduction there, Rod. Again, welcome everybody. I just wanted to kind of give just a quick 1 or 2 slide overview because many people are on board. For the veterans, I appreciate your patience. For the people that are new, I just kind of want to provide a quick overview. Again, Fanvil has been a manufacturer for many, many years. We actually have factories located throughout China as well as Vietnam, located all over through Asia. And the products that we build are all SIP IP based. And what that really means is that we build on open standards, which means that if you're in the industry, in the UC business, dealing with voice and audio, we develop endpoints. That's kind of where all that technology touches the human being, and you're going to see a little bit of that moving forward. Next to Fanvil, you'll also may see a subcategory called Linkvil. Linkvil is a sub brand for Fanvil, which really links to many of our hybrid or wireless type of products. I'll just be touching small bases on our wireless solutions as it relates to our smart home protection or smart gate protection audio, but then I want you to see those two, and they're really the same brand or the same company moving forward. Fanvil's been around. This is our 23rd year plus in the industry. We started off at the very beginning. In fact, we have been in the industry for such a long time that if you have been in the UC market for over a decade or so, chances are you've probably touched one of our products or so at the end of the point. I can't say who they are, but I wanted to sort of say that we've been in the industry for a long time. We are no way a startup. We also allocate many different of our resources that we get to R&D so that we can build endpoints that go ahead and meet your particular requirements for your implementation. Just a quick high-level overview on top of from the sky level. We develop all the different endpoints. Obviously, we do IP phones, IP broadcasting solutions, but what we're going to concentrate today is our access control solution. I mean, this solution here is really where we find we have indoor solutions, outdoor solutions that are also complemented by a FCMS solution that we actually have that Hector will go and do a quick demo of, that will give you an overview of how you can go ahead and manage a bunch of systems. And we have a lot of periphery endpoints that will go ahead and complement the usage and expansion and how this would fit in your particular project. Only Fanvil can provide under one umbrella all of these different solutions under one brand, so that it really helps you out in terms of finding compatibility amongst all the different product lines. Again, some differentiation, local support. This is very critical when you're adopting brand new technology. When you're in a current brand, a lot of other people are seeking and they kind of need support. The good news is that both ABP and Fanvil have resources that you can reach out to for both commercial support as well as local technical support. For commercial support, obviously, Rod and myself, we're here to really help you out and kind of guiding you on where you can get this product line. And as well, from a technical support, you'll be hearing from Hector in a while, but at the same time, ABP also has technical resources. So we really do have a lot of tentacles out there to really provide you the support so that you can go ahead and implement these solutions out at your projects so that these things can go out as smooth as possible. Now let's kind of go and do a little bit of a deeper dive into some of the solutions. How do we differentiate in providing these smart security points and door phone solutions? I'm just going to go over some high points that you can kind of note so that you can keep in mind. There's a lot of missing features out there when you're going ahead and viewing gate access. Lack of remote mobile phone support is one of them. Many are very discrete functions that might have internal communications, but these days, when these things go into gate access for commercial, healthcare, or even residential markets, you might have the need to have end users or as well as property managers walk around with discrete solutions so that you can go ahead and provide remote access. Let's face it, you know, not everybody spends all the time sitting behind a desk unless you have full-time security guards. That's fine as well, but very often we're a mobile society that does that. Secondly, not every door solution has a cloud device management. Either it's FCMS or FDMS. I'm going to focus more on the FCMS, which is more focused in on here, but we have several different cloud solutions that you can adopt that provide single point remote management so that from a one console, you can go ahead and see the health as well as the well-being and doing, you know, remote resets and remote diagnostics from one remote location. And I'm going to provide a little overview about how that all takes place. And again, it's really communicating video and audio over per industry standards, because there's a lot of proprietary solutions out there that once you buy them, you have to stick with their own solutions. We are SIP IP so that you can use our points discreetly amongst itself, or you can integrate it with external PBXs if you wish, or many of the other SIP devices that are gone. And that will give you sort of protection against many of the other peripherals that you might walk into. Again, second challenge is meeting integrated and proprietary management models. You have cost of renovations in buildings. Very often people want this new renovations, but they don't necessarily have the budget to rewire all of these buildings. If that's the case, I'm not going to go over here, but Fanvil does provide a two-wire solutions which allow IP over two wires. I can go into that in the future, but that's not the focus of this presentation. A big idea is, let's all face it, you know, we're here in the business to provide solutions to the marketplace. And the great news is that there are no recurring costs, because when you go to many other solutions, they have recurring fees that you're going to have to manage on a monthly basis, so that from the end customer standpoint, you can go ahead and ask them and this become a monthly charge. A great differentiator that you could bring to the market is that Fanvil solutions that I'm going to show that does not have a recurring cost. There is a one-time NRE that sort of provides the setup. Why do we have this setup? Is because we decide to use all of the data storage on local Amazon servers that we serve internationally with it, so that people are conscious about where their data is stored, and we want to make sure that these are stored on the Amazon servers that people feel comfortable with in hosting these applications. Obviously, I talked a little bit about FCMS support, on-site or remote property management. Let's face it, when I speak to a lot of our partners in the field, many integrators also play an IT role in their local region, because they not only do they integrate for many other locations, they have ways where they can offload that property management solutions onto third party, or they may take on that solutions themselves. I mean, let's face it, if you deploy to a dental office or perhaps an attorney's office, they don't necessarily have an IT staff on board, and very often the integrator serves as their IT services. Our cloud management allows for those roles to be played by single or pawning it off to a third party, and myself and Hector will kind of go into that as well. Again, system silos. Other solutions are also very proprietary, and they work with very limited endpoints, whereas us, we can have our door phone solutions work internally by itself so that you can talk from one peripheral to another. Many others work in a full UC environment where they want these peripherals to go ahead and talk with cloud-based PBXs as well, and these can all talk. And the good news is that they're compatible on their own or integrating with cloud-based PBX solutions if you want a very sophisticated UC platform. All of these things are supported with our platform moving forward. Well, what we have really as a solution highlight could almost be categorized in several different ideas. We have outdoor type solutions that range from what we call ruggedized in the middle, what we call commercial grade, which is the i60 and 60. Now, when I say commercial grade, don't take them wrong. They actually meet industry standards in terms of support, and I'll get into that. We also have indoor solutions, because when somebody presses a button on the outside and goes through their authentication method, many people on the inside want to go ahead and say, who is it outside? Is it the UPS person? Is it a delivery that they're expecting? Is it a truck that's coming up to the gate? Well, there's lots of displays that we can have, but also some people have a very simple solution where they just want to pick up a phone, identify who it is, press a single button, or use a desk phone, or what we're going to introduce soon is a wireless phone, where both of these solutions can actually go ahead and actually view the person at the door, identify their face, their truck, logo or whatever, and have them come in. We also realize that outside of all of these discrete solutions, there's also a pre-configured kit solution. This kit can really entertain many single residential or perhaps SMB markets that actually have a simple gate entrance solution. And these devices are all pre-configured with an i60 along with an i504W that's already pre-configured that looks for each other. So you can go on site, they'll look for each other pre-configured, and all you have to do is scan a barcode and you're really all set to go. All of the remote licenses have been preset, so you don't have to go through all that. And it's true, I hate to use the classic word, but it's a plug and play solution. So let's go ahead and move forward with some custom office and commercial products. This is when you can go ahead and pick out what you want to meet your outdoor line. Now, not everybody's going to go ahead and have the one button requirement here to meet entrances either internally or outdoors, but you can also have things that do facial recognition on the outside, and you can mix and match in a basically custom office and commercial market. You could have meeting room offices where we're actually coming out with a desk phone that you can actually put on a desk, which requires no mounting changes in the wall. You can just mount it on the desk and press a simple button that will connect wirelessly, and you can actually see who's at the door, and this provides for a really simple integration. Or you can provide desktop installation or wall mount on this flat screen as well. We have some models that can do that. All this can be controlled by a central IT department with a PM portal on our cloud base, which really means that from one location, whether it's local or a third-party IT, they can see and diagnose where all of these things happen. And obviously in a receptionist IP, they can go ahead and manage it on their mobile phone as well. Aside from the discrete, we also have a pre-configured system. And what I mean by pre-configured, this is what I use in terms of a VIC-01. This is a kit that we've kind of put together. The difference between this kit and the discrete solution is really meant for people that go above and beyond 5 remote locations, meaning that you need to have 6 or above, or a lot of these people need to go ahead and gain access on their remote phones. But this thing is all set so that once they're combined on the same network solution, these devices will tend to look for each other, pre-configure each other, and all of a sudden automatically display the barcode so that once you scan it on your mobile scanner, all of these things will be pre-configured so that in just 5 steps, you can have this thing work out of your home, house, or villa, or even in an SMB environment. Because many small businesses who have a handful of people, you don't need to give access to every single person on their mobile phone, but the few key people that are living by or management within the company that will have access to really provide off-hour access into their systems. And this is a kit that we go ahead and provide. And by the way, one of the things that we're giving away at the end of this is very similar. We'll be matching an i60 along with the i504W along with it so that you can really test it out for yourself as well. Now let's look at the benefits of installers. As I mentioned very early in here, this is more than just a management platform. It really scales in a way that provides central visibility to not only the installer, but also central visibility to the property manager as well as the end user themselves. So they're really made to really provide an interface to all of these different people where the top level control really rests with the integrator. The integrator can go ahead and pawn off that location onto a third-party local manager on the property that manages that property, and they can go ahead and do the day-to-day function of putting, rotating staff, employees, or residences in and out of the solutions, and they can do it on their own, independent of the installer. And if the installer wants to do it, they could actually install and make it the local staff so that once they install it, they could just walk away. So it's really geared to scale to a lot of different management capabilities that are lacking in a lot of other competitive solutions that are providing door phones that are out there. This is just a bulletized version of what I'm going to say. You can feel free to reach out to Rod and myself to get a soft copy of this presentation. We'll be more than happy to install. In fact, he may go ahead and send this out automatically for people who are registered. Again, it's really designed for people who are IT partners that also support local IT services, but also the installer can assign a commercial residential property manager. So all of a sudden, the day-to-day work is handed off to somebody totally else. And the third idea here is that there is no recurring cost. What is the cost? You can go ahead and reach out to the sales the person where you purchased from, in this case ABP, where you just do a 1 NRE. What does the NRE work for? In an MSRP scenario, that gives you a baseline of 5 licenses. And if you need more than 5 licenses, you can add additional one for 110 MSRP. That could be installed at the very beginning of installation, but once you put that in, guess what? There is no more recurring costs. And I think that's going to be a big attraction to many of your end customers, as well as differentiating yourself when you're bringing out, because no one wants to go ahead and have recurring costs as well. Now, this base 5 licenses, by the way, when I talked about that kit, that's already included. So once you go ahead and install the barcode on the phone, you will automatically be installed. And so like I said, it's a really one-off solution to really minimize the touch of installation. You can walk away with a solution that provides door access as well as being able to provide remote location. This is just a screenshot of a lot of the different installers that I want to show you about, a quick show about the different barcodes that are out there. But even on the mobile application, you can really outline different buildings where you can have building 1, building 2, or you can assign numbers or room numbers where you want to have access to specific deployment of these type of solutions, as well as management of different ideas out there. You could pick building 1 or ID number 7 where you have room number 101. That's all defined by MAC addresses, and all this can be done over one interface, whether it's mobile or through a central console provided in both platforms. Again, on the property managers, this could be played by the installer or a separate property manager. This will just kind of give you an idea where on a mobile access on both iOS as well as Android-based phones, you can have really sending people where you can have easy notifications. You can have temporary passwords for people that are on site for a few days just to install some things. These are all features that are capable from one central location so that they can go ahead and provide quick visitor's key that they could just scan at the doorstep, being able to provide them local access for 1, 2 days, or even 3 hours, depending on what type of contractor is out there. So all of these things are capable from a central management console. Again, benefits for residences. Residences don't really care about the rotation, but it's really meant to target so that each residence will have visual capability of seeing who's at the gate, who's at the door, and being able to provide access to being able to provide clearances, whether they enter the home or the office, depending on what they wanted to do. And you can really download these apps right now in either the Apple or the Android store today. As well, the residences also have the capability, should you grant that, for providing temporary passwords, meaning, you know, they might have people moving in and out of their residences for the next 2 or 3 days. They can provide those movers with a temporary password so they don't have to be bugged all the time. But that's all controlled through the console, and you can bring that management down. Again, the type of residences, you got mobile access with the phones, you have PIN codes, which you can assign PIN access to each staff member or family members, facial recognition on depending on what model you choose. All of them support ID and card recognition, where it's a card or it could be a key fob, or you could either send a DTMF code, whether it comes from an indoor station or from a desk phone, and these are all SIP-based desk phones. Obviously, a major differentiator with Fanvil is that we actually support all the way through our midline many phones that support facial recognition so that you can actually see the end person. You don't have to buy and spend top dollar on the high end to support video. This is part of our business, so video capability spans all the way down to our mid-base phones, and you don't necessarily have to spend more. In fact, we're going to be introducing a cordless phone that's going to end up providing facial recognition on a mobile access phone as well. And obviously QR code and BLE and all of these different access codes that are provided for the end user for easy authentication. Now let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about the products before we jump into the demo. I'm going to kind of go over this really quickly. Again, for indoor stations, it ranks everywhere from smaller form factors. Not everybody has a large real estate to be able to install door phones. Going to a more commercialized phones, where these are made for commercial applications or ruggedized applications, for single button, multi-button, keypad, or even models here that support facial recognition, two-way in terms of seeing video in and output, or listing the tenants on a bigger screen or smaller screen, different models to go ahead and fit your needs. Obviously, for indoor, we have lots of different platforms that we can match here, as well as a management tool that you can go ahead and use to tie all of these things together. We've actually talked about the kit, and we'll be introducing a wireless indoor station that you could just mount on your desk that can be stored, connected via wirelessly, so that any person could just take a look at this portable display that's about the size, a little bit bigger than the palm of your hands, and push a button so that they can have wireless control as well moving forward. Obviously, the differences between the two, with this more ruggedized, this is great for surface mount, flush mount, wall mount, rain covers. All of these things are all covered through our these larger platforms where we have facial recognition. These are fit for much larger screens for those particular applications. They're all ruggedized to meet IP66. And what does IP66 mean? That means that you can actually have a garden hose spray water directly at them, and they will still function, which means that they're really highly immune to water and for humid activities, as well as extended temperature, and having tamper alarms so that it avoids, you know, people from breaking in without notifying security. As well, we have other features that don't need facial recognition. You could end up having these with solid state single button, multi-button, as well as keypad, and all of these things come with all the different wall mount, flush mount, and rain cover type applications to fit your specific needs. Obviously, these things also support IP66 and IK07 ruggedly rated, so that these are all made to handle ruggedized application, whether it's a standalone pole in a parking lot or under an autumn at a commercial place as well. Then we have the SIP video door phones, again for commercial, residential applications as well. This one goes down to IP65, which is fine for covering for rain and typical applications. And these are more built for more narrow applications in case you don't have a large real estate, both single as well as a keypad, but both of them support RFID type cards and keypad applications along with video. These things also support and comes with the product the rain cover design as well, which is pretty nice on that thing. So it supports all these different applications moving forward. Again, indoor, this is something that you can mount on a wall. All of these different things, when you buy the indoor station, by the way, along with the keypad, when you buy those paired together, it'll automatically include the baseline 5 licenses that I talked about. And this is something that you can speak with ABP in terms of getting licensed. So when you buy both an indoor station and as well as a door phone, the license will come for free. If you don't need one, that's fine. You can get the base licenses separately, but that's the type of applications that it will come in. And obviously high-end audio, because it comes with G72 Opus. These are all different type of codecs that most people in the UC industry are very, very familiar with. Beyond that, will be coming soon a wireless indoor station where if you don't want to mount it to a wall, this is just a simple flat screen you could just put on your desk, and it makes implementation very, very simple in case there are different people who want to play the role in answering the door as well. Last but not least, the actual kit itself. This kit will basically put all those pieces, but we took it a step further, meaning that the max you can have is basically 5 mobile licenses, not going any further, whereas when you buy it discreetly, you can go as high as you want to. But in most applications, this will do the job, but these internal kits have been designed to seek each other out on the same network, so that it really makes for a plug-and-play solution when you have a simple deployment. And this kit's available, and it provides the same type of capability. And then last but not least, the cloud management solution, which scales to whether it's a single, third-party application or mobile links. All this is provided under one application. Now, really, I'm just want to move on to now to Hector as we move on to the FCS demo, and he'll just kind of give you an online change as to what it is. So as I change over to Hector Zarita, he'll take over the screen. And I'll stick around for whatever questions you might have at the end. Okay, Hector.
Thank you, Tommy, for your explanation. As always, a little complex. Really appreciate for that. Thanks, Rock, for introduction. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Now, with others to the last point of the webinar, which is related to the use and configuration actions that can be performed of the FCNS platform through the installer account. So because the FCNS platform is composed
Hector,
of...
I'm seeing a ding play. I think you have to open a new window.
Let me check.
There you go.
Yeah, thank you, Tommy. Yeah, so because the FCNS platform is composed for specific roles, this made this a robust platform. So it is recommended that you only pay attention to the actions that are performed specifically in the type of FCNS account you are using. I mean, the platform, the FCN platform is composed for 4 roles that are distributor, installer, property manager, and app user. Okay, we'll be using the FCNS installer account to show you your live demo. Okay, let me log in my account. This is installer. Okay. So the first step is to apply for an FCN S installer account. To do this, you must contact your distributor, your Fanvil distributor, in this case ABP, to submit the request. Okay, you only need to provide the email address that will be associated with your FCNS account. The second step is to unlock the MAC address of each of your device. Okay, it is important that before this step, your distributor, I mean ABP, has previously added these MAC address to their FCNS account and assign them to your FCNS installer account. Otherwise, the MAC address cannot be added to the FCNS installer account. Okay, this was mainly intended as a security measure and provide better transparency for the distributor and the integration and the integrator. Okay, I already add some device here in my account just to show you. Okay, I already add the device and they are shown online. Once the installer has successfully added the device and they are displayed online, you can move on the next step, okay, which is creating projects and assign device to those projects, okay. There are currently 3 types of projects, okay. Let me go to the project section. Here you will see 3 types of projects that can be implemented: Villa, Community, and Office, okay. Community is generally used because it involves the use of the door phones, indoor units, and the app user. In fact, this will be the example we use today as a reference during the demo. Okay. Okay. Here in this first project, I will log in, okay, in order to see all the details. Basically, the project type is select, okay, then the device that the device that will be used in the project are assigned. For example, here I already assigned the device in the project, okay, the indoor unit, the door phone, okay. When you go to the intercom device, you have the option to add the door phones. Usually in community projects, okay, you will have the indoor units in each apartment. The apartment is called room, okay, it's the same thing. In the main gate, you will have the first door phone. Here, I already have the door phone, and the door phone is already synchronized. Automatically, the platform assign account number. Okay. The same thing with the room, with the apartment. Okay. Here, I already have the indoor unit. Okay. And the user app. Let me go back here. Then this will be generally be the main actions performed by the installer. I mean, add the device and then create the projects. Okay. However, the installer also have the option to add residents. I mean, to create app users. Okay. As well as authorize them. This last action doesn't necessarily have to be performed by the installer. Okay, as the property manager also have the privilege to do so, and in fact it is generally done by the property manager. So the final step of the installer is create the FCNS property manager, okay, and then assign the correcting project, the corresponding project to that property manager. Here in the account section, you will have the option to create property management, okay, and then assign that property manager to the specific project. Okay, to create the property management, only need the email address. Okay, the user credentials associated with the property manager will be arrived to that email address. Okay, in order to move to the activation process. Okay, so here let me before go to the property manager account, let me show you here how the browser to the installer can be create app users directly. I mean, without necessary to make from the property manager. Here in the, when you create a project, okay, you will define the community name, and then you will define if the project will have indoor extension or not. Okay, here, just to show you, if you add a new device, test2, okay, let me log in the project. Okay, here you will have the option when you import the room, you will have the option to create the app user as well. Okay, let me show you here. Intercom device, sorry. Okay, in that session, the installer, okay, have the option to create app user. After assign the indoor unit, okay, the installer, okay, can be created the app user here in that section. Only need the email address and the QR code and the user credentials associated with that app user will be arrived in the email address. Okay, so let me start. Let me log in the property manager just to show you. The most important thing here is understand that what is the actions that the installer, the mainly actions that the installer can be done. Okay, I mean, first the option to add the device. Remember that first the distributor can be add the device and assigned to the FCN installer account. Okay, here in the map library you will see all the device, okay, already add, and then you will move to the next step, that is create the project. Okay, so that's the mainly actions. Okay, and obviously the option to create the property manager. Okay, the property manager, let me show you here. A minute, please. Here, I already have the property manager account open. Just to see the difference between both accounts. Okay, here you will have the property manager, so you have the option to create different actions. Okay, after the installer has created the FCN as property manager, the property manager user, okay, will receive an email with the activation list of their account. Okay, at this point, the property manager will be able to add residents. Okay, here. And assign an app account. I mean, the installer and the property manager have the option to create the app user. Here, the property manager, okay, has already created an app user. It's the same first user that had created by the installer account. Okay, F residence will be enabled here in that option. Only need to select the building. Okay, in that case, depending of the project. This is the project associated with the first building. Okay, the wrong number, remember that is the apartment. Okay, here, and here you can configure the information associated with end user or with the app user. Okay, the name and the email address. It's important that file because the user credential will arrive to that email address. Okay. An action that is performed only by the property manager, okay, is that everything related to the access control methods that each resident will have associated. Here in the includers and visitors, okay, the property manager has the option to create the property staff, okay. The property manager can define information for each resident, such as facial recognition, card use, and local password information. Okay. Another action performed solely by the property manager is everything related. Okay, with everything related with the temporary keys, okay? Push notifications can be sent to all residents simultaneously. Here in temporary password, I don't know, maybe in a specific project, the prophetic manager only need to set one temporary password for a specific users in a specific time. Okay, so here the prophetic manager, okay, for that project in the first building, I will create a temporary password with a specific time only to work in that device. Okay, basically there are the actions that the prophetic manager can perform. Okay, the app is currently available, okay, for download on the Google Play Store for Android, on the App Store for operation systems. Once the installer or prophetic manager enable the app user, okay, that user will receive an email similar to the one shown. Let me show you here. Okay. The user will receive an email similar to the one shown on the screen, which will display the user credentials as well as the associated QR code, to log into the app. Okay, the user choose whether to log in using their credentials or via the QR code. After the app user logging, okay, can be create the family management. Okay, only click in 8. Okay, the recurring information will be displayed to enable the account for the family member, username, okay, email address where the user credential will be sent, and the QR code. Other actions that the app user can perform is to configure access control for family members, such as adding a face, password, card, and Bluetooth unlocking. Okay, so this is the most important actions that we can show you here now on the webinar, because the time is a little shorter. I would like to show you the most important actions. Okay, so yeah, this is the action for the prophetic manager, for the installer, and the app user. Okay. Okay, Tommy.
Well, great. Thank you very much. Can you pass control back to Rod?
Yeah. To Rob. Okay.
Rod,
yeah.
You got it.
All right. Let's see if I have. All right. Do I have control, Hector? I'm not able to.
You should be able to share your screen.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, there it is. All right, guys. So thank you, Hector, first of all, for that presentation. One thing I want to mention is that we know that was quite a bit to digest. We will send out not only the slides, but we'll send out a recording of the webinar as well, so you can go back and listen to the presentation again. Also, if you wanted something more personal, reach out to me. We can get a call set up with Fanvil. We can do a little bit deeper dive into the FCMS platform, and hopefully get you comfortable enough to start going out and evangelizing the value of FCMS. With that in mind, we're going to open it up for some questions. As I mentioned earlier, your mics are muted. However, there is a chat box available where you can put your questions in, and we have Brandon on the presentation as well to drive that. So, Brandon, do we have any questions?
Yes, we do. Well, the first one I can kind of answer off the bat. Can we have a PDF of this presentation? I'm pretty sure Rod and Tommy can produce some sort of recording or PDF of this webinar. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll send that after the presentation.
We'll send that
In
out to
addition,
the
in addition, there's
attendees.
also a PDF of this presentation as well. Yep.
And the next question I have on here, do any of the new call boxes use the PoE to fire the door latch? And they said that we have I-20s that currently do that.
PoE. On our door access, most of the key, the trigger, the hardware trigger for the door access is usually done through a relay. So there's a relay within the door phone itself, and so I'm not sure when it's done via PoE. I mean, the door phone itself can be PoE driven, but within the PoE in the door phone, there are several relays that you can trigger that, given the right code, will trigger a relay that will open up either a mag lock or any other lock that you have available to it.
Then we have another question here. I'm not sure what exact product is Riza is, or Mohammed Riza is asking, but it is, does it support a landline phone or a SIM card for calling residents?
Oh, a landline phone. Well, all of these products are IP based. So say, for example, when someone rings the bell, it's going to need to speak to typically a SIP-based IP phone. So it won't necessarily talk directly to an analog phone. This has to be basically an IP-based system, so that, coupled with the outdoor phone, on the inside, you would have to have either an indoor station, which is a little mini display, or an IP desktop phone. Either one of those will be able to work with it, as I shown before in the slides.
And then we have a question, is there integration with door locks and kickers?
Absolutely. In fact, the door locks and is something that we work with. Any door locks that's triggered off of a relay, you could just hook that right directly into it, or whatever kickers. I'm not sure of that specific term, but I think besides that, there are lots of peripheral type of sensors. Like, say, for example, if you put this in a retail store, you might have sensors that might gauge a person that's on a wheelchair rolling up to the gate, or someone that's just walking up, and it'll automatically open a door itself. So it goes well beyond just having a door phone. There's lots of peripheral things that you can attach to it that can provide access, and all that is configurable on the GUI interface.
It looks like I can kind of put these two questions together, asking if it works with PBX systems such as 3CX, and what if a device is managed by 3CX using 3CX's firmware. So I think it's kind of like a joint question from a couple people.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if I were to wear a PBX hat or a cloud-based PBX hat, this door phone is nothing but an endpoint. It just looks like a phone that sits off at the end, and it just behaves like a phone. Conversely, in many applications, there is no need to dial outside. So say, for example, yes, you could actually integrate a PBX in it so that you can have, group calling a bunch of different phones. But for very simple applications, and they all share the same network, you can actually have these devices talk to each other, so that a PBX is a great enhancement, but it's not necessarily a requirement in implementing these door applications. For example, if you were to do one at your home or your small office where there's no need to dial outside, you can have these things talk to each other and provide that gateway without necessarily having the need to do a PBX. So, but if you need a PBX, absolutely. That's why this is an open system to talk with many IP based systems.
All right, and we have another question. If, for example, there's 4 family members, does that mean they use 4 licenses? So a license per family member, I guess.
Correct. It comes with if you were to do the kit, the kit automatically comes with a baseline of 5. If 5 is not necessary, you need 6 or 7. There are one additional ones where you can just assign those specifically to the door access, and then you can have additional licenses as you see fit. Most cases in a small application, if you buy a discrete solution, you can buy as many licenses as you want. But if you buy a kit, it maxes out at 5. So if you need more than 5, then you may want to go discretely. But if you're 5 and below, then a kit will do fine, as long as you're happy with the actual predefined, pre-configured, keypad, door phone, and indoor station.
Next question, remote management for Fanvil devices needs to be enabled on device, question mark.
Yes, in fact, it's not a requirement, but it's a nice enhancement. I mean, you could have it work discreetly if you just wanted to do it, but for the tools of many IT people and integrators, many people need a central management solution. For example, I have a home security system at home, and I don't need a management portal to manage my home. But on the other hand, if I was managing my whole neighbors and property, then I would need one. So it really depends on individual. But the good news is if you needed one, we have the tools that we provide to all the partners as well as the residences to have it if you need it.
Next question, can the devices unlock doors based on the facial recognition?
Absolutely. In fact, facial recognition is available on our higher end solutions, the i67, 66, and I believe the 68. Even more, you can program those things, and you can go through a profile where at the office you can use the cameras to scan your front face, side face, and all that, and be able to log you in the library. So if you were to show up at a door, it will just scan your face, and if you happen to have a match, you'll see it clear and you'll go right in.
All right, we got a next question. How about the power failure, and how does the system work?
Well, power failures, I think with power failures, one would hope that one would have a backup. I think that if we're, I would recommend having a backup if you're going to use these power failures. Outside of that, there are other ways that possibly, I don't know if there's emergency releases. There's lots of different emergency scenarios. We provide the gateway that's capable of doing that, but you could end up having a backup power. This is my knee-jerk reaction. I'm in sales, but I'm not necessarily an integrator myself. But I'm sure that for those emergency scenarios, I'm sure there are solutions out there that can provide, accesses, but I'm not proficient in knowing what those solutions are.
And then a question, if no internet is available or internet is down or customer wants local solution, what are the limitations? How about locally hosted software, not cloud?
Well, there are several ways. If on a local solution where you have a small business outfit, you could basically gain access to the access control just by knowing what the IP address is. And if you do an IP address, it's no different than programming the router in your home or in your small office. If you just program that, then you will have access rights. I assume that you'll have your own proprietary password and all that you would set. But you can log into the machine itself and you would have full access. What the gateway, if you don't have internet access, then that prevents you from accessing cloud solutions. But if everything shares the same network, then internet access wouldn't necessarily be the case, I think. But you'll end up having some drawbacks depending on what you want to do. But on a closed system where you have devices talking to each other on the same network, you can provide open access in that case. But you'll manage it locally through the IP address of each particular device. Just like you would a router at your home, no different,
All right, guys, we're kind of bumping up against our time, so we'll answer a couple of more, and then we'll quickly do the raffle. Here's another question: will you lose license? When you lose licensing when moving an account when using multi-tenant, If so, in which cases? I don't know if that makes sense to you, Tommy.
It's a good question. I'm pretty sure the actual licenses, the way we view it, is it accesses the room. So say, for example, if it goes to a particular, if it goes for a mobile phone, then that mobile phone may be tied, but you can probably reassign it. But from our standpoint, if you were just to assign it to an indoor station that's inside of a room, then there is no need for additional licenses that way. Yeah, it depends on the individual scenario. So, but the answer is yes and no. I think if you were to do it just with indoor stations and no need to have any mobile access, then that wouldn't be a need. If you need mobile access and downloading the client and having that, then all of a sudden it becomes an issue. So it depends on how they want to manage it. You can just manage it through the portal, or if you need mobile access, then all of a sudden the license will go in. It's really based on the individual project, but you have the capability of entering both. If that becomes a restriction, it's like, oh, this is what we want, then that's fine. If they need mobile access and accessing that, then all of a sudden licenses will have to build in.
Okay, thanks, Tommy. All right, so we're out of time.
Yep.
We just have a couple of seconds where we did the raffle earlier. We pulled a couple of names. The two names that came up is Ken Steinberg for the V64. I'm sorry, the V66 Pro, and Richmond. I believe that's Ramsio for the VIC 01 kit. So those are our two winners. Congratulations. If you would, guys, please send me your contact information. I'll get those units sent to you. We'll get those out today for you. Again, I want to thank everyone for taking the time out of their day to join us. If you have any questions, concerns, or if you have any additional questions, we didn't get through all of the questions. So if it was something that's pressing that you need an answer, feel free to send me an email. If I can't answer the question, I'll kick it over to Tommy. If he can't answer, he'll kick it over to Hector. Either way, we will get some answers for you. Appreciate you coming. Looking forward to working with you. I'll reach out to each and every one of you to make sure that you have the presentation, including the recording. I'm always here. The team is always here to support you. And with that, enjoy the rest of your day. And we'll look forward to seeing you another time. Thanks, Tommy.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. All right.